this covers 1600cc Formula 2 from 1967 to 1971, and then the 2-litre Formula 2, not all the way through to the end of it, but the earlier part of the 2-litre Formula 2. It really has caught on now, this category. There's plenty of cars available, and most of them, or certainly a large number of them, are out on the track now. Cars powered by a mixture of BMW engines, Renault engines, although I don't think we have any Renault engines here. The Brian Hart engine, the Hart engine. That's Cameron Jackson in the pits in the number 88 ex-Alex Ribeiro car, I think that might be. But anyway, it doesn't look as though they're going to be able to take part in the race. So the front of the grid occupied by Matthew Watts in the number 21 March 772, and Darwin Smith from Northern Ireland in the yellow March 722, as opposed to 772. So they get away now, and the cars head up towards Abbey for the first time, and it's the white from pole position, the white march of Matthew Watts that leads, the yellow march of Darwin Smith in second place, but almost runs into the back of Matthew Watts, because Matthew was slow through the corner. Now moving up into third place, that's Miles Griffiths, I think, challenging for the lead.
Yes, they've all concertinaed up, and as you say, Miles Griffiths has got the lead at Village, went right round the inside there and took the line for the lead, so he leads from Martin O'Connell in second place. Third place is Andy Smith, and fourth is the white and blue car from second row, Martin Stretton.
But Matthew Watts that missed his braking point and went wide coming into Village, and that's why he's dropped from being in the lead now down to about, as he rejoined, about sixth place. But meanwhile, for the lead, we've got Miles Griffiths in the Ralt in the lead. So Miles Griffiths leads.
Mad.
As they come through Luffield, getting away then in front, Miles Griffiths in front, and Martin Stretton, of course, also in the mix as well. But that's Martin O'Connell in the Chevron. Martin O'Connell, he knows what the circuit's like because he's already been out in 2 races. So we've got Miles Griffiths leading in the Ralt, Martin O'Connell there in the number 4 Chevron in second place.
Up to Beckett's, and as you say, it's Miles Griffiths leads, Martin O'Connell not far behind, just staying far enough behind to be out of the spray, and pulling away from third place Darwin Smith, who has got ahead of Martin Stretton. And then next up is the Andy Smith car. Somebody has got a misfire in amongst there somewhere.
Watering the engines somehow.
Watering the electrics, absolutely.
So down Hanger Straight for the first time into Stowe Corner. There we see the third place car standing out in the spray, the yellow car of Darwin Smith, and the other Smith, of course, number 77 Andrew Smith, a little bit further back at the moment. Leaders coming through Club Corner. There we've got the third place and fourth place cars, with the March 722, the earlier car, holding off Martin Stretton for third place. Miles Griffiths in the Ralt, getting away at the moment from Martin O'Connell. So Miles Griffiths in the Ralt completes that one, leading by 2.7 seconds from Martin O'Connell. Darwin Smith third, number 10. Fourth, Martin Stretton, number 6. Fifth is David Tomlin, going nicely, number 70, fifth place. Sixth is 77, Andrew Smith. In seventh place is Mark Charteris, number 42. In eighth place is 54, which is Mike Wrigley. And then behind Mike Wrigley in ninth place, Neil Fowler, number 89. And in 10th place, number 28, Mark Hazel.
Lead us through Aintree, and as you say, it's Miles Griffiths pulling away, but a good battle for third place, with Darwin Smith holding off Martin Stretton, and then David Tomlin a bit lonely just ahead of Andy Smith.
Andrew.
Yeah, Jamie Bradshaw just stopped at the pits. He's retiring. He says it's too dangerous out there. So that's why he's retired. Well,
thanks, Andrew. Well,
it's bad, but it's not terrible, is it?
Well, Martin O'Connell, having not been able to get the lead, is dropping back, and I suspect it's partly because of the spray being thrown up by Miles Griffiths in the lead. And we saw car 18, Neil Fowler had slowed, I think, coming out of the loop. And we've got a car that's gone off, coming out up past the Wing pits. And the driver's out of the car. It's on the straight, the car's gone up against the wall, so the driver's out it's all off the track, the debris that's been, it's a marker ball that's been knocked down, I think. Anyway, the race continues, but yellow flags at the moment, or there were yellow flags on the pit straight. So conditions are certainly tricky. And in period, these cars would have been racing in conditions like this. There's, you can see 89 gaining a place. That's Neil Fowler. He seemed to slow, but he's now picked up pace again. But out in front, Miles Griffiths in the Ralt. He had disappointment with the Lotus 15 that he was sharing with Philip Walker. And a spin there by the Chevron. I think that's Mike Ridley's Chevron that's spun. Anyway, he rejoins. But that was a spin here. Darwin Smith through in third place with Martin Stretton right behind him, and Martin closing up and about to make a bid, I think, to take third place. Is he, Alistair?
Coming up to Village, yes. Martin goes wide into Village, looking for the outside line. Maybe he'll cut back. No, I think the spray is enough that he just stays behind as they go through the left-hander at the loop. Leaders have gone through, of course. No change in the order. And it's Darwin Smith just ahead of Martin Stretton. But the spray is unbelievable. The cars just disappear in a ball of spray. Yeah, because of these open-wheel, big-wheel cars. Up into fifth place by the end of that second lap was Andrew Smith, ahead of David Tomlin. Mark Charter is still seventh. Neil Fowler, despite seeming to slow partway round the lap, he's there in eighth place, number 89. In ninth place is Mark Hazel. And in 10th place is Glenn Eagling, number 127. In the pits, Andrew?
Yeah, in the pits is Peter Micklewright and his ex-James King marked 76B. He hit somebody on the first lap and bent the steering arm, so sadly he's out of the race.
Thanks very much. So in 10th place, Dan Eagling going very, very well with the GRD. I'm just looking to see where he was on the grid, because he was on the 10th row, so he's gained 10 places already, and he may gain more. Dan, a very experienced, despite being a relatively young driver. There's Darwin Smith in the yellow March 722. Now we've got the leader coming down into Stowe Corner, Miles Griffiths in the Ralt. Seems to have the measure at the moment of Martin O'Connell. The safety car is now being deployed. Now, for which particular incident, it's unclear. So it's taken a while to be deployed, but anyway, it is now being deployed. And hopefully, Alistair has picked up the leader.
See the safety car just leaving the end of the pit lane.
Oh, so
no.
No, it hasn't.
It's actually on its way to Village now, and you've got the leader still with you, I think, haven't you?
Yeah. Now, whether it's the incident on the straight here, or whether there's some other incident somewhere else, because the one that's happened here was a car on the edge of the circuit, but sorry, off the track, but it's well clear from the edge of the circuit. So the problem of the safety car picking up a car than the leader is now going to have to be untangled, unravelled. You've got them going past you, Alistair, I think.
We've got the safety car going through, but the leaders, I think, are coming out of Copse.
Did you see who was the leading car? Oh, they're being let past, but the safety car's letting them, waving them through now.
That's right. They've, I think they decided to send the safety car out slightly early, just to be sure of getting the leaders. And by the time they get to Brooklands, I think you'll find it'll all be sorted, and the leader will be immediately behind the safety car.
Right. Well. Now, what's happened to Martin O'Connell then? Because there is the leader, and there's Darwin Smith, who seems to have got ahead of Martin O'Connell, actually. Not quite sure how that was possible, but that does seem to be the situation. And this is the car that has gone off. I mentioned previously that has gone off on the straight. The driver's out of the car. It's the one that can't see the number of it, but will do in the recovery process. Well, the race scheduled to be for 30 minutes. No, 20 minutes, sorry. 20 minutes, and so a lot of this time is going to be used up by the safety car, I'm afraid. We've got 11 minutes to go, so we're nearly halfway through. really only had 2 racing laps. So the lead is, just to confirm the order then, in the lead, number 19, Miles Griffiths in the Ralt. In second place, number 4, Martin O'Connell in the Chevron. In third place, number 10, Darwin Smith in the March 722. In fourth place, number 6, Martin Stretton's March 782. In fifth place, number 77, Andrew Smith's March 742. In sixth place, number 70, David Tomlin's Rondell Motul M1. In seventh place, number 42, Mark Charteris with his March 742. In eighth place, number 89, Neil Fowler with the March 782. In ninth place, number 28, Mark Hazel with the March 782. And in 10th place, number 127, Dan Eagling's GRD. Followed by Wolfgang Kaufmann, and number 22 in 12th place is Mark Dwyer. Well, the recovery's been very effectively completed by the marshals, as you'd expect, and with all the debris, such debris as there is, left on the grass, hopefully they'll be able to resume the race now. No, they're not. They're going to do another safety car lap, which is going to take about 3 minutes or so, which means we're going to be left with about 5 or 6 minutes of racing time. So safety car leading them onto another lap. Obviously no change in the order because they're all stuck behind the safety car. I'm just looking down to see where they are. Matthew Watts, who went off on the first lap, starting from pole position, car number 21. At the moment he's down in 17th place. Good close-up shot there of the leading Ralt. Not many of these Ralt RT1 Formula 2 cars were made. Some of them were run by Ron Dennis before he took up involvement with McLaren. And then he replaced them with the Motul Rondell, such as David Tomlin's car. And had some pretty good drivers driving. In the Ralts in particular, they had Eddie Cheever was one of the drivers and qualified on the front row of the grid here for the International Trophy 1 year, when he was still a teenager, Eddie Cheever, the American driver. So that's the number 19 car. This isn't one of the ex-Ron Dennis cars. Martin O'Connell's Chevron there in second place. Darwin Smith seems to be keen on finding out how much grip there is on the off the line, as it were, for when the race is able to get underway again, which hopefully will be next time around. Unless there's some other, you can't see any incidents, Alistair, out of your box.
No, nothing round.
No,
nothing this side at all. I think the story with our pole position car, Matthew Watts, is that he's just gradually been dropping back, and I do wonder whether he's the car with the misfire, because he's consistently been losing places each lap. Or alternatively, it could just be the conditions. He's not comfortable with the wet.
Well, certainly he lost the lead coming into a village on the opening lap by running wide, going wide, and then rejoining after missing out the bit of the loop, putting across the grass. So that wasn't the misfire problem. That was braking too late, but after that he may be struggling. Yeah. Safety car coming in at the end of this lap. Lights out already as they make their way down towards Stowe Corner. And well, like I said, there might be about 5 minutes left, but I think we'll have about 6 minutes of racing time remaining, which is time for at the most 3 laps. So qualifying was somewhat interrupted by cars having accidents yesterday. I think the answer is it's just too large an entry to accommodate in one session. And drivers of varying abilities as well is also part of the problem. And then you throw tricky conditions at them, it's even worse. So for the quick drivers up front, should be a good battle to the end then as the racing resumes. Miles Griffiths making sure he gets the power down and pulls away already from Martin O'Connell in the chevron. Martin coming under great pressure from Darwin Smith in the march. Yellow march right behind the blue chevron, and then up behind the pair of them is the march from Martin Stretton. Martin Stretton followed by Andrew Smith, then David Tomlin, and they're back in your sight, Alistair.
Very different line from Martin O'Connell, comes into Village much tighter, looking for an advantage, perhaps offline there, but this new surface at Silverstone, I think it's pretty consistent. A little bit of a slide from the leader, Miles Griffiths, well controlled, but it's those three who are pulling away already, being followed there by Darwin Smith, so it's 3 for the lead as they go under the bridge.
It is indeed 3 for the lead, nose to tail the first 2 as they turn into Brooklands. Martin O'Connell really getting stuck into the spray thrown out by the Ralt. They turn through Brooklands into Luffield now, and Darwin Smith is very much a feature of this fight for the lead as well. Through Luffield, and a bit of a twitch there for the leading Ralt. Darwin Smith comes level with Martin O'Connell, but didn't quite get level enough to make the move stick, so he's still in third place as the cars come on to the Heritage Pit straight. It's still the Ralt from the chevron from the third place march through Copse Corner. It's still just the Ralt in front as they come back into your side, Alistair.
Griffiths from O'Connell. O'Connell going tight into Maggots Corner, but no way through there, but closes up under braking onto the back of Miles Griffiths, and right behind them Darwin Smith as they turn left and then right, and then a quick left again onto the Hanger Straight. Tremendous driving from these 3.
Absolutely, you really have to admire the ability of these 3 drivers up front. They're regular front runners, whatever they drive, and they're coming now down onto the Hanger Straight. Great sight they make. They all look different, of course. It's the beauty of Formula 2. The cars all look different in period, not like the cars that come out of a computer design these days. Turning through Stoke Corner into the Vale. 3 together into the left-handed part of Club now, onto the brakes. Bit of a twitch under braking, but it's still Miles Griffiths in front. Martin O'Connell. These drivers have both won races already this year. I think Darwin Smith hasn't won necessarily this year, but he has had a lot of success with this march in recent years. The older design, the Mark 722, onto the straight, completing now lap 6. It is still Griffiths and O'Connell from Smith as they turn into Abbey, starting the 7th lap. There's time for this lap plus 1 more afterwards. In 4th place, it's now Andrew Smith, number 77, has got the yellow march up into 4th place. In 5th place, David Tomlin, and the one who's dropping out of the reckoning is Martin Stretton. Where's he got to? Martin Stretton hasn't come, he's in the pits.
Yes, he had a spin at the loop last time around, didn't have time to tell you. Martin O'Connell takes the lead, tight through the loop, but slides and drops back into 2nd place behind Miles Griffiths. But Martin O'Connell now really is putting the pressure on everywhere on Miles Griffiths.
This is a fantastic race, considering the conditions. Andrew?
Yeah, you're definitely right. Martin Stretton just climbing out the number 6 ex-Jean-Pierre Jarret car. I'm pretty sure he's got a misfire, actually. They're looking at the back of the engine and the metering unit. When Martin gets his helmet off, we'll have a quick word with him, but I think that is the problem, a misfire with the engine. Martin, you got a misfire there.
Yeah, we had a misfire from the beginning of the race, which was very frustrating at low revs. And then I don't know whether it got. I was trying to keep it warm, but I don't know if it got a bit too cold. I thought it might be that, but on the restart it got really, really bad, and I just had to pull out of it because it just was cutting out intermittently, which is very disappointing.
Horrible conditions out there.
It's very tricky. It's very tricky, but there's some drivers driving very well. It's great fun.
Excellent. Well, bad luck with that, Martin.
I didn't think Martin was going to complain about the conditions, even though they are tricky. And already we've got the leaders in amongst some of the slower cars, and as they're coming, consider the difference in performance. That's what I was talking about earlier on. But the level at which these guys are driving is in a completely different league from some of the others near the tail end of the field. It does make a case for having 2 separate races really here, because now into Club Corner, in amongst slower traffic. And bear in mind, the back markers were back at the tail of the queue only about 5 minutes ago, but they're going to come through now and start the last lap. It's still Miles Griffiths in the lead from Martin O'Connell, from Darwin Smith. Who's going to win this one? It's still anybody's race between these 3. They're lapping one of the slower cars there now. They may get a few more before the end of the lap. And Darwin Smith dives down on the inside of that Brabham BT30. I think that's Luciano Arnold car. It is number 3. So the 3 leaders back with you for the final time, Alistair.
Up towards Village, and Martin O'Connell switches sides. He was on the inside, he goes to the outside, gets a little bit of a slide under braking, but gets away quicker from Village, and now looks to come alongside as they go into the loop. through the left-hander they go, and Martin O'Connell takes the lead on a big sideways moment, but he's got through into the lead ahead of Miles Griffiths, Darwin Smith behind.
But Miles tightened his line coming out of the corner. He's got back in front, so Miles Griffiths is back ahead, and Darwin Smith makes it 3 abreast as they come down the Wellington straight into Brooklands. But in fact, the order remains Miles Griffiths, Martin O'Connell and Darwin Smith. But what a race this is, considering the conditions. In the dry would be wonderful, in the wet it's even more remarkable. Absolutely at the top of their form, these three. And as they come out of left field, it's still Miles Griffiths in front. Coming level with him again is Martin O'Connell in the chevron, and Darwin Smith there with the slipstream in the yellow mark. The three of them through. This is a brilliant, absolutely fantastic driving from these three. Down towards Cobb's Corner, it's still Miles Griffiths leading from Martin O'Connell in second place and Darwin Smith there in third place. The rest, as many of them, don't really matter. Up towards you they come for the final time, Alistair.
And Martin O'Connell spins coming out of Cobb's Corner. He's managed to keep the car out of the wall. He's spun he's hit the wall right at the end. 720-degree spin. That leaves us with Miles Griffiths leading from Darwin Smith, who backed off for Martin's spin. And Martin O'Connell gets going again. I think, unless he's damaged the car, he'll get 4th place.
Yeah, because Andrew Smith's gone through, hasn't he? So we've got 2 Smiths, unrelated Smiths, going to be on the podium then. Down towards Stoke Corner for the final time. It's a shame it ended with a spin, but it's hardly surprising given the conditions. Even the best of drivers are going to be caught out by something. So it is, they were trying so hard, and now Miles Griffiths can relax just a tad as he turns into Club Corner for the final time. Makes up for the disappointment of the Lotus in the earlier race. Here he comes then, up to the checkered flag. Miles Griffiths in the Ralt wins a tremendous race. In second place is Darwin Smith. Third place is going to be Andrew Smith. Not the next car through, but there is Martin O'Connell in the chevron. He did just touch the wall, as Alistair said, but there doesn't look to be much damage to the front of the car. But he takes 4th place, because yes, we didn't actually see him across the line, but there's the yellow mark as we see it now of Andrew Smith, that finished in 3rd place. Martin O'Connell 4th. David Tomlin, the Motul Rondell, finished in 5th place. Neil Fowler came up into 6th place. In 7th place, Wolfgang Kaufmann. Dan Eagling made in 8th place in the number 127 GRD. 9th, Mark Dwyer. 10th, Mark Hazel. It's all the marks here. Dwyer, Hazel and Chardris in 9th, 10th and 11th places. And in 12th place, number 144, Philip Hall with his march. Fastest lap went to Martin O'Connell. And they deserve huge rounds of applause for that. It was magnificent racing, absolutely magnificent. Formula 2 racing at its very best. Still cars coming through to take the flag. All the front runners in Class D. Class A, which is the class in which Robert Seamack normally races, is not going to be won by him. I think it's going to be won by Martin Bullock in the Chevron B17C. And Class B will be won by number 441, Mark Mercer, with his March 73B Formula Atlantic car. We can go through the top 10. So first, Miles Griffiths. Second, Darwin Smith. Third, Andrew Smith. In 4th place, Martin O'Connell. 5th, David Tomlin. 6th, Neil Fowler. 7th, Wolfgang Kaufmann. In 8th place, Dan Eagling. 9th, Mark Dwyer. 10th, Mark Hazel. And Alan is now ready with the podium.
We certainly are ready. The presentation for our 4th race of the weekend at the Silverstone Classic, the HSCC historic Formula 2 race. And what a race it was. Let's give the drivers, as we get them onto the podium, a hearty round of applause. 3rd place, number 77, Andy Smith. Well done, Andy. Congratulations. Over to the far end, if you please. He takes the 3rd step of the podium. In 2nd place, no relation, number 10, Darwin Smith. Well done, Darwin. Congratulations onto the 2nd step of the podium. And fending off a huge amount of pressure, number 19, Miles Griffiths is our winner. Well done, Miles. Congratulations. Gets a great round of applause from the crowd. Steph Crouch from the HSCC will make the presentation. First of all to Andy over at the far end of the podium, then to Darwin at this end of the podium, and then to our winner, to Miles Griffiths. He gets a garland of victory around the neck and a huge silver trophy. Well done to our winner, to Miles Griffiths. And what a race it was. Now, they pose all together with their trophies on the top step of the podium. That's it. You can bunch up together and smile for the cameras, of which there are many that are clicking away in front of the podium. And that is our podium, everybody, for a fantastic race in very difficult conditions for the HSCC Historic Formula 2. Well done, guys. Don't run away, because I think I might speak to more than one of you if I get time. But Miles, hop down if you would and have a quick chat to me. Absolutely super stuff, but boy, were you under pressure.
Yeah, definitely. I knew Martin would always be difficult, but I think he dropped it on the last lap. I could see Darwin's yellow car in the mirrors the whole race, so it was a tough job.
When the safety car was out, what were you thinking? Were you thinking, come on, I want to get racing?
No, I was thinking, I hope the race ends under a safety car.
Because the conditions were really not very nice, were they?
It actually wasn't too bad. On the outlap, it looked really bad, but we seemed to clear a lot of the water off the racing line, so it was fine.
Because that's our podium for race 4 of the weekend for the HSCC Historic Formula 2 race. And what a race it was.